Hello and welcome to Nintendo Nostalgia. I am Jacob Rush and I'm joined by my co-host Ryan Black, and we're back and we're playing with power. Ryan, how is it going, my friend?
It's going great. Got our first big snow of the year. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yes, I love the snow. I love it. Oh my gosh, I was at work. I could just see it falling down outside. It was beautiful. You know, it was just peaceful. There's just something about when it's falling, the snow, and it's accumulating to where there's just this quietness to the atmosphere. Muffles out the sound of cars, the city, everyone around you, and it's just beautiful.
When you're not driving it, it's pretty serene.
Yeah. Well, I don't even necessarily mind driving in it. You just got to be careful. But yeah, I love it. I'm happy about it. I think we got like 1 or 2 inches of snow today. Not much than that though. Anything else going on with you?
Oh no, man! I got done shoveling snow and I'm ready to do the podcast.
Me too. So let's not waste any more time. All right. We're just going to hop right into the news. Ryan, bring up what's your news topic you got for us today, buddy?
So I have been obsessively checking my Nintendo and my email because I hear that my Nintendo people are getting email. Select people are getting email from Nintendo saying, hey, you want to try out the Switch early? And they'll give you a location to go and try it out before everyone else can. And I'm just kind of checking. I don't have a lot of those gold coins. I'm imagining that's how you get it, buying a bunch of their digital content. But if not, hey, I'm remaining hopeful. I want to get an invite. I want to play it before anyone else because, hey, who doesn't?
Wow. I saw a glimpse of that. I kind of figured, I don't know what my chances are, so I haven't really checked. But I don't know if... do you think it's only in select areas? Do you think it could be anywhere? I would feel like they would save that for New York or California, people in the bigger gaming areas.
They are popping up here and there. I've heard reports of New York, Florida, and Ohio. So that's pretty close to us.
Well, okay, Ohio. That's just our neighbors next door. Not bad at all there. Okay. What do you think your chances are? You think you'll get it?
I don't know. It's like I'm waiting for my Harry Potter letter.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm a wizard and going to Hogwarts.
Well, you never know. It could happen. They made that Harry Potter school, or they're making one, a real life school, made after the actual school in the movie. That would be pretty insane. Okay, well, I don't know much about that one, so good luck. I hope you get it. My luck, I probably got it, and I didn't check my email, so. But, okay. All right, the next topic I want to really get into is I have been chewing on this all day, okay? So as our fans know, and as you know, my favorite game ever is Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie has a spiritual successor called Yooka-Laylee. That was announced about 2 years ago. And it was crowdfunded. And it's been in the works, and I've been following it like a hawk. The background of my laptop is Yooka-Laylee. It was on my old phone. I'm so ecstatic for this game. And today, I don't know if you saw the news, but I did share the news through our Facebook page, and Yooka-Laylee has finally got a release date. The release date is April 11th, 2017. awesome news, right? Well, this is bittersweet because, yes, the game is coming to a close, so you can tell they're finally finishing it up so it can get out there. The bad news is, well, they canceled the Wii U version. They're moving it to Switch, which is bittersweet as well because I won on the superior console. That was the thing in the back of my mind before all this was like, I want to get this game, but it's going to be a bummer that I'm going to still have to play the Wii U, but I have to play, but I would have a Switch and not be able to play it on the Switch.
Now, if I heard right, they said that it's undefined on when that's going to actually come out for the Switch. It could be even pushed back further than the launch date. Is that correct?
They haven't really confirmed anything, but so we don't know. That's the issue I have here. Okay. Now I want to get into this because, like I said, I've been trying to not be upset about it, and because Playtonic has confirmed, if you guys don't know this, I mean, it is obvious, the majority of Nintendo fans back to this game. They said Wii U was their biggest interest from that. So that's why Playtonic worked on the game themselves hands-on for the Wii U version. They say they hit technical difficulties. I mean, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. There's been plenty of games developed for the Wii U that have come out, okay? And they were working on it very closely. I mean, the truth of it is, I don't think there was the technical issues was the Wii U's is no longer being produced. So why put it on a system that's essentially dead anymore and move it over to the Switch?
Technically, yes, it is something they didn't foresee. And if there'd be no point in putting out this on a system that is dead. But, it's also going to step on some fans' toes, and they may be a little burned by that. I've heard there's some angry people out there.
There are, and I mean, I'm mad. I'm not mad at Playtonic because I know what they did. I understand why they did it. It is way smarter to put it on a Switch. And like I said, I would rather it be on the Switch so I could play it on the better console experience. I really would. Okay, I'm happy that I actually don't have to worry about owning a Wii U version and then rebuying it for the Switch too. So I am happy about that. But what I'm so frustrated about is it's just the same narrative Nintendo gets every freaking time we get a game. You saw it with the Batman Arkham series. You saw it with I didn't play it, but Assassin's Creed. You see it with Watch Dogs. These are all examples of games that got to Nintendo last, okay? And by the time they get to Nintendo, no one cares anymore. And then they have lackluster sales on Nintendo. Now, granted, like I said, I don't think there'll be lackluster sales on Nintendo for Yooka-Laylee. I think that it is a Nintendo crowd and all that. I think it's going to sell really well. But what I hate is that, if the game, we don't know when the game is pushed back. The game, for all we know, it took them this long. They had to delay it. Well, it could take them till holiday 2017 before we get the game, which frustrates me to no end because by the time the game comes out, guess what? This will already be streamed up on YouTube. People are going to have the whole freaking game covered. You're going to know every boss, every level, every pagey, how to figure out the entire game through and through. Now, obviously, I'm just going to have to ignore it. But I shouldn't have to jump through hoops to ignore information about Yooka-Laylee. It just makes me so mad. I just feel like Nintendo fans get left in the dust time and time again. And you post one little comment about how you feel on a public page, and then I get bombarded by a bunch of strangers who I have no clue who they are about just how dumb I am and how it's my fault. It's your own fault that you only play the Wii U version. It's like, I'm sorry, but I am a Nintendo loyalist. I'm not going to buy a PlayStation just to play this game. I'm not going to buy an Xbox just to play this game. I have Nintendo, and to me, playing a Rare style made game by the same people who made Donkey Kong and Banjo-Kazooie, Diddy Kong Racing, it's home on Nintendo. That's where I feel like it should be played. To me, I have been so excited for this. Because this is a nostalgic game for me. This whole podcast is about nostalgia, Nintendo nostalgia. And Banjo-Kazooie is probably some of the biggest. It is the biggest nostalgia I have for Nintendo right now because it is my favorite franchise of all time, and we haven't had a game like this decade and a half.
I can subscribe to what you're saying. I have a PS4. I'm not going to get the game on the PS4. I'm going to get it on the Switch. I play Banjo-Kazooie on 64, and that is where I want to play its spiritual successor, is on a Nintendo system. And that's just where I sit.
That's how and I know not everyone feels that way. Some people could care less, but for me, this is how I want to see it. And I just feel, again, we're just late to the party. Nintendo is forced to stay on the sidelines. We're late to the party by it. It's kind of like, hey, I just got Yooka-Laylee, and everyone else will be like, oh, great, I played that a year ago. And it's like,
it's like they'll be playing Yooka-Laylee too by the time we get it.
Right. And hopefully that's not the case. And now I've looked up. They have an FAQ link that they posted for questions about the Wii U version. Here's what they're saying, okay? And I'm reading between the lines, and this is what I think, and it's what keeps me calm a little bit. They say they will have more announcements about the Switch version. They said they're working closely with Nintendo. They'll have more announcements about the Switch version, but you'll have to wait until early of next year. Okay, what's early of next year happening? Which is another topic we have here.
What if that means they can't say anything now, but when they do the big Switch reveal, that means they're going to announce that, hey, Yooka-Laylee is coming out first on the Switch before April. What do you think about that?
Then all of us will feel silly for ever getting mad. I mean, and I'm not saying it's coming out before the April versions, but I'm saying I think Nintendo has said you need to wait to talk about our version of the game until we have said the Switch lineup, and then we will let you talk about it.
It's like all of the developers that are doing anything for the Switch are on embargo right now until that video launches, and then we'll have tons of information, just this flood of information coming in after that big breakdown and reveal.
Yeah, the internet's going to freaking crash when Nintendo has this press conference because they're going to unleash so much news that we did not expect. That's going to be through the roof, game-wise. I mean, their whole game lineup, I guarantee you they will announce the majority of the games they have coming out for 2017. You know, Yooka-Laylee has been the game on my list above Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Zelda Breath of the Wild is my favorite franchise from Nintendo alone. But I have been so thirsty for a game like this, and so I mean, people cannot sit back and not understand why Nintendo loyalists or Wii U backers are a little frustrated right now, and it's just because we're kind of in the dark. We don't have a definite answer. The game could come out at launch. The game could come out in December of 2017. We don't know. So, and I kind of feel like you had backers, make this version unique compared to the other ones. Do something for this version of the game that you're not going to get in the PlayStation 1 or the Xbox One. I'm hoping amiibos are announced with this. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Could you imagine they announce it and then they have a whole amiibo line set for the game? Here's what I predict. This might be just wishful thinking, but they're going to come out and Playtonic and Nintendo will have announced their partnership finally, and then from after Yooka-Laylee has launched for everything, we will now have only exclusive Playtonic games to Nintendo. That's my goal. That's my dream. Then we'll get Diddy Kong Racing 2. We're going to get more Yooka-Laylee games. We're going to get another Donkey Kong Country game with the Kremlings back. There we go. I'm happy again. So, speaking of that, though, I really think they are just being forced to wait till the Switch launch, which was our next bit of news. The launch is going to be February 12th, 2017. For for where we are in Indiana, Eastern Standard Time, we have to wait till 11 p.m. that Thursday night. Whereas if you are in Pacific Time, out near California and all that, it's going to be 8 p.m. So it looks like it's going to be a long night for us, buddy, that day.
I'm definitely not sleeping that night.
Yeah, I may get a little bit of sleep in, but I'll be tired the next day at work. But I will be so happy about all the Nintendo news.
Dude, I'm going to be calling you up.
Well, you might. Yeah, you should.
I'm going to be calling you up. We're going to talk all night about it. You're not sleeping either. It's going to be too big.
Oh, man. We might need to do a special episode. Maybe just do an online reaction episode and we'll just upload it that night. A raw reaction video. I would be okay with that. Okay, so I think that's enough for the news. You got any more thoughts on that? I know I kind of rambled a lot. Something I was really passionate about.
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
All right. So, Ryan, what have you been playing lately?
You know, I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. Did the update come out yet?
I think so. I don't know. I've actually been kind of forced to play Pokemon Go because I'm completely out of Pokeballs now. I was like running off of my reserve of Pokeballs. I had tons of them.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm starting to run out, and so I have to actively get on and collect more Pokeballs to get ready for the Generation 2 show up. Now there are some Generation 2 Pokemon that are hatching from eggs, I hear, like Pichu, and I don't know if Igglybuff is one of them, but yeah, I'm really excited about that. Like, we're starting to see them slowly leaked in. It's not all just one huge dump. Now, whether that's going to happen, we'll see. Like Christmas Day, they drop presents of Gen 2 everywhere. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
I actually got a Vulpix and an Electabuzz today, which I was actually really surprised because I've been having trouble catching new Pokemon. And the fact that I found 2 in one day just makes me think, hey, maybe they've actually done something great with these spawn rates. And I do kind of like the tracker a lot because I was able to catch Electabuzz in front of a fire station because it said, hey, it's right here. I'm like, okay, I'll stop by there before I head into work.
Yeah, haven't they, because I haven't played it since the summer, haven't they, I heard that they've improved the tracking system and just the spawning of Pokemon. Like, you're no longer just running into Pidgey, Rattata, Pidgey all the time. Like, it's more variety now. Yeah,
the Pokemon's really been diverse now. Yeah, you're going to run into your Pidgeys and Rattatas, but they spawn in what feels like larger numbers around you. And there's always that variety. You're not just going to get a bunch of Pidgeys. Now maybe 1 or 2 of them are going to be Pidgeys, but you're going to get a couple others. Like I had an Execute pop up randomly around Rattatas and Pidgeys, and there was a Kakuna, I think, in there too. So yeah, you're going to get variety, and it's actually it's fun to play. Now going out walking in the snow, I'm hoping that there's incentive with new Pokemon coming to do that because it's cold and walking in the snow is. Well, let's just say I'm ready to do Pokemon Go, and I hope that I have incentive because I am out of Pokeballs and I need to get built back up again.
Did you see the plushies, though? They're supposed to be releasing Johto plushies with the launch of Johto Pokemon.
Oh, no, I hadn't heard that.
I saw that just today, shortly before we started this, actually.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Very cool.
That is cool. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad Pokemon Go is still around. It's not something I want to fail. It's just they're just really slow at updating this game. Some of the stuff they're updating it with now, it should have been day one stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that tracking device, they should have had a great Pokemon tracker from day one. That was my biggest frustration was I would see there's a Wartortle off somewhere, but I have no freaking clue where it's at. So I'm glad they're improving it and it's still going. Clearly it doesn't have as big of a user base as it used to, but it's coming along.
I know that the holiday is pretty busy. Have you been able to get any gaming in?
Yes, I have. After we played our Metroid 2, I decided to pick up a game that I found. I already own it on my Wii U, but I used to own the cartridge a long time ago. I was a fool, sold it, whatever. Got it back at a used store, but I got Metroid Fusion back. So I've been in the Metroid mood since we did our last episode, and I have just been playing this game up. Right before we got on, I was really making a lot of progress, but bad news, man. My little DS Lite here, the right trigger button is not working. It just stopped. And I'm like in a crucial part of the game, and I couldn't pull my missiles out. And I'm like, oh my, what's happening? Because I really needed them. I'm at the part where I have to get down to Sector 3 because it's supposed to be where the boilers are like overheating or something, and it's going to destroy the whole station. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's right after I get my ice missiles.
Yep.
So I was heading back, and then you see Nightmare flying in the background, which, by the way, can I say, still freaks me out. I mean, I forget, because you forget. You know, I know he's in the game, and I remember him flying in the background, but you forget when it takes place. So that I'm running back to the top of this sector in the space station, and he starts flying in the background, his shadow, and it's like, whoa, it just kind of made my heart jump. So you have that, and then even in Metroid 2, side note, we did that episode last week, and I'm still playing the game, and I'm like, I'm running along, and I still run into a Metroid, and it scares the crap out of me, and I jump. I legitimately get scared. I'm like, oh my, I know it's coming, but yet it still terrifies me. But I've got to say, that final boss, once you know how to beat her, she is easy. She is so easy. Metroid 2. Spoiler alert. She's easy. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Just love Metroid. It's a game that goes with this time, with the snow. It's kind of leads us into our main topic of the show. It's today's topic, everybody, is going to be about games that remind us of the winter. So I don't know about you guys out there, but I have a whole laundry list of games that when there's snow on the ground and it is ice cold out, for I know not everyone it gets cold and snowy, but for us and for me, there are specific games that, like, to me, it's just a wintertime game. Now, Metroid Fusion is one of those games, but that's not the game I'm going to talk about today. So let's get started. Ryan, so tell everybody, what game did you select? What game reminds you of when it is cold outside? You're like, oh, this game. Well, even if you're year round, if it's the middle of summer, you're like, this game just makes me think of the cold, the snow, the winter. Tell us, man. We want to know.
I think of the cold, and I think of being shut inside because of the snow. And I think of, like, just kind of that trapped feeling, and it brought distinct memories of playing Luigi's Mansion. And walking through the hallways, you can see Luigi's breath. You know, it's cold, cold in parts of the mansion, and just trapped in that place, like looking for well. I don't want to do any spoilers, but you're looking for someone.
Yeah,
and you've got your poltergust, and you have like one guy that's on your side, Professor Egad, that helps you along the way. He gives you that vacuum and just exploring the different areas. There's fire, elemental, ghosts, and and what have you, and all the puzzles and everything. Like, that's just really what I associate with winter. Like, every time I'd go outside in that game, I would be surprised that everything wasn't blanketed in snow, because it was just like, that's what I felt like. That was the mood that it always set me in.
Okay. So was Luigi's Mansion a game that you like? Did you get it during the winter time of the year, or was it like something you got in the summer?
It was the game that I got with my GameCube.
Did you get the GameCube for Christmas?
I believe so.
Okay. Which was it was a launch game, so that would make sense. Okay. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion is it's funny, because I've never. For me, it's not a winter game. Myself, I actually got the game. I got it used. I never actually. That was right when I was getting into the trading days, where I trade in games and get new games. And I remember I got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and I got Luigi's Mansion 2. But I got this at I'd say maybe the end of July, early August, because I remember I got it and I had like football practice was just starting up. So I had like my first practice that night when I got it. And I remember I didn't want to go to practice because I just got my new games. So yeah, that's just kind of funny that, that's what you associate with the winter game. Is there a specific reason, like, how much do you love this game? Tell us why is this game so special to you?
Like I mentioned in a previous episode, like, I love just vacuuming up everything and finding out what cash and gems and stuff popped out of things. And like, I loved the cash mechanic when you're vacuuming stuff up and you're like sucking up the money.
Yeah.
And then trying to catch those darn mice that drop so much money. And I remember looking through the Game Boy Horror and in that little hole in one of the rooms, and it sucks you in, and you're in this like huge treasure room, and it's just so much treasure. And the first time I played the game, I didn't get the best ending, but I went back through and got the best ending. But I love that experience, that feeling, that exploration, the kind of Metroid-like in that you have to get a power to get to another area, or you have to flip a switch to get to certain areas, grab keys to open certain doors, like just that puzzle solving feel while also catching ghosts. And I liked the cinematic, like when you put the ghosts in the machine, like plug in your poltergeist, and they get pressed out into paintings. And I like that. There's so much charm in that game. Like, and I remember being scared about the babies.
Oh man,
fighting the baby. That's always scared me. Like,
it's probably the creepiest part of the game, maybe besides to the final boss. But out of all the boss fights, besides final one, I'd say that one is definitely creepy. There's just something, especially, it's just unsettling about a dead baby. Essentially, that's what it is, and it's haunting you. Yeah, it's a great game, but that is a creepy part. But that's why it also, to me, I associate it, like I said, with late summer and going into the fall. That's why it was on our Halloween episode. Some of the music, just because it's a Halloween type game for me. But it's pretty cold out around Halloween too, so I could see how you associate that with the cold there. Yeah, is there for someone, say someone's never played this game, tell them why they should like it. Like, tell them what's the best thing about this game that you just that's the hook for you, that you, if someone new is like, I've never played this game, but I really want to play this game, what would you tell them?
It is Nintendo's Ghostbusters. It is the
that's a good point.
Scaredy cat brother of Mario being forced into the situation where he's trapped in a ghost mansion. Like, he's already like terrified and just kind of wimpy, and he's forced to have to face his fears. And there's so much exploration and mystery to that, and that is what really can draw you into the game. Like, that's the real grab of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say just the spin of it's Luigi. I mean, up to this point, Luigi never really had his own game. Not like this, to where he's the main character. And yeah, spoiler alert, the damsel in distress is Mario here. Okay, Mario's been kidnapped and he's been put into a painting, and you've got to save his life. So sorry if you haven't played the game. It's been about a decade and a half, so go play it now. But yeah, it has good charm. There's a lot of comedy in it, I'd say. There's just something like the music. Luigi is just like humming the theme song in the hallways.
I do that all the time, like randomly, like in an elevator or something. I'll just start humming that. It just sticks in my head, and it's never left. It's never left me.
I'll whistle it a lot. I'll whistle the theme song just like he does. Well, if you even listen to when he's humming it, he's out of tune. He's out of tune. He is.
I think you can hear like some teeth chattering there too, like somewhat.
Yeah, he's out of tune, and you can hear some shaking in his voice. He's like, it's a great game. I would recommend it to anybody, not just being a Nintendo fan. But I'll tell you, if I don't like a game, I don't really care for the Animal Crossing franchise. There you go. But yeah. What did you like it compared to the second one, or like it's like the second one, like the first one, or was it a little bit of a downgrade? Because that's more of a current game that people could get today.
I don't have an opinion on the second one yet. I haven't actually beat it myself because I was playing through it, and then my sister-in-law came to town, and she sounded really interested in it. I'm like, you know what? She has never had this experience. Like, I want her to experience this, so I just passed it on to her to play. So I didn't even get to finish the game. So I'm gonna reserve my when I actually complete the game and pull it up on one of my nostalgia about it, because I do have a lot of memories from playing the second one. But really, I'm gonna stay away from that for now, and just sing heaps of praises on the first one.
You never beat the second one?
I did not. No.
I thought you did. Wow.
No, I just recently got the game back, and I just haven't picked it back up yet. So.
Yeah. I understand that. I have a long list of games I'm still waiting to play myself. But, well, I mean, I won't spoil nothing for you. It's a fun game.
The second one is available for 3DS. But the first Luigi's Mansion is only available on GameCube currently, though recent rumors about the Switch having a GameCube Virtual Console suggests that one of the 3 first games that come out is Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
So you may be able to get that on the Switch, which is, hey, I'm really excited about that. I'm definitely getting that. Definitely getting the game. Absolutely.
Well, and not to mention, this was rumored back last year, but I mean, with the Switch reveal coming up, we're going to get so many rumors that we're just going to find out they're true or they're completely false, you know? And one of the rumors that we had heard, or that I had read about a year ago, was one of the launch games that they were planning was a Luigi's Mansion game. They said I had read that it was inspired by, I guess, the commercial that came for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. There was like a full CGI, like really good looking commercial for the game. And this is the story that came with this, that it was Nintendo was inspired by how that commercial was made to make a game look at the quality of how that commercial looked for the game. So that's the rumor for the Switch, that we're supposed to get another Luigi's Mansion game at launch or within that first year. So if that's true, I mean, that's awesome. I don't know. There's been a lot of things rumored to be coming out that first year, so we'll see, but that'll be sweet if it is. I'd be down for that. All right, so my choice for a topic here, the game I picked, Ryan, is GoldenEye 007. This game, to me, I have the soundtrack on my iPhone, okay? It's on my computer, it's on my iPhone, and, like, I just kind of refused to listen to it until it got cold out, and it was dark early, and there was snow on the ground. Like, I was listening to it today, just getting psyched for this episode. It's such a phenomenal album. I love the music to this game. When I hear it, I think of Christmas Day. GoldenEye 007 for me was a game that we got when we got our Nintendo 64 back in the day. So to me, the first level in the game, you're in the snowy mountains. So it's all covered in snow. It's cold. So it just fit the mood of when I picked the game, when I first ever had this experience with the game. So I remember getting it. Lots of fun with this game. It wasn't I wouldn't say this was my number one game that I loved the most at the time, because we had some other games we got. I'd say this appealed to my older brother. I have 3 older brothers. And GoldenEye definitely appealed to them at first more than myself. But I still highly enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it at all. I did. I beat the game. It's one of the few games I own it now, but it was one of the top games that I hunted down. Like, I have to rebuy this game because we got rid of it a long time ago. Funny story on the game that I remember was my mom. She bought all the games, and when she got the system, but she didn't know that she didn't know what James Bond was. So she just bought it. And once she 7 months later, once she realized, there's shooting and killing in the game, she hid the game without telling anybody because she didn't want us playing. She was afraid that we would go crazy and start shoot people in real life. Because I guess around that time that the Columbine happened, the shootings back in the day, and so she got terrified that she bought this game for her kids. So she, instead of throwing it away, she just hid it, and without any word, we eventually just kind of found it on our own. Like, we misplaced it. And we found it and started playing it again, and she didn't hide it after that. I think she just kind of gave up. We were going to find it. And whatever. That was silly. She should have just explained to us why she may not have wanted us to play that game anymore. But no. But this game, gosh, man, I have so many memories playing this game. My brother beat it before I did. I do remember that. I remember him freaking out and celebrating when he won, which then inspired me to finish it up and beat it myself. I'll admit, I never beat all the Secret Agent and 00 Agent missions, because after you play each level, you unlock a harder version of that level where you have to do more tasks, and the computers are a lot smarter. So the game gets tougher, and I had beaten maybe a couple of missions here and there, but there's always those pyramid levels at the end of the game. I never did unlock those. I've seen them and I played in them, but I never myself unlocked those. So I do have to admit, I never thoroughly beat the game 100%, but I did beat the main game of killing the final boss and all that stuff. But this game, no. Ryan, do you realize the significance that 007 set on the game industry world?
Oh, I've heard.
I mean, think about it. We would not have Halo today if it wasn't for this game. We wouldn't have Call of Duties and Battlefront if it wasn't for this game. This was the standard for first-person shooters, and it came out on Nintendo, made by none other than Rare at the time. And it's really a shame that none of the other James Bond games that came out after this even live up to what this game set as a standard. Like, they're just not as good, and they don't have that. I don't know. They just don't have that charm and that feeling that you get with the playing GoldenEye.
It really paved the way for the multiplayer shooter. Yes. And I remember my first experience of the game was playing it at youth group, and I hated that stupid club gun because it didn't do anything. I couldn't.
It's a terrible
getting
gun.
stuck with that, and then I eventually got a hold of the golden gun, and I was killing everybody. And that was my first experience with the game. So, like that feeling, like that was something that set my standard for shooters from then on out. Like that competitive, like that feeling, like I've got the weakest gun and I can't kill anybody with it, and I've got to get a better gun, and happen to find the best gun. And I later played GoldenEye Rogue Agent for GameCube. I played the heck out of that game, like so much on the multiplayer, like with my friends. It's just like it doesn't compare to the original though. And
now Rogue Agent, I mean, I remember you owning that, but it wasn't the same game as GoldenEye for the 64, was it?
No, not at all. No, it was this agent that had a special eye, a golden eye that could do different tasks like X-ray vision, could activate devices from a distance, can put up a shield, can do different things like that. Yeah, it can paralyze someone. So it had different functions, and it had its own story, and it was set in the Bond universe, of course. I think you may have been, like I think you started out like a villain or something, but rogue agent and what have you. But it was a fun like multiplayer. I even like this year I've broken it out and played with friends again when we have video game night. But I've actually never owned the first one. I've never played the single player. I've only played like that one or two times multiplayer with youth group. That's about it.
Well, you can imagine. I mean, just there was 3 older brothers, myself, and my little sister. So there's 5 of us. I mean, someone still always had to sit out a turn. So the multiplayer was highly used in my household.
Did you guys have controllers, like the full set of controllers to start out with the game, or did you have to gradually build up?
I think we had 3.
Okay.
We had a yellow one, we had a gray one, and we had a see-through clear purple one.
The Atomic purple.
Yep, that's what we had. So we are missing I want to say maybe we had a red controller, but I don't remember for sure on that one. I do know for a fact that we had those 3. I still own the gray and the yellow today, so. But yeah, I mean, I just remember all the times of playing that game and yelling at your brother for looking on your screen, you screen cheating and stuff, things like that. You're not supposed to do that, see where each other's are. So just lots of really fun memories about that game. But it's sad to say that game now lives in some like weird legal limbo because it was made by Rare, but it was published by Nintendo, and it's owned by Activision. I think Activision owns the rights to James Bond, to the film games. So it's kind of like I want to look that up just to make sure.
I believe I was doing a little bit of looking around on that, and they kind of abandoned the project, and I think it can be picked up by someone else, but they have to get through all of that, legal rights and everything. I would imagine that there'd be another one coming out probably shortly after the new movies announced. I would be surprised if they didn't do another Bond game. But I think we'll see the return of that series for sure. They did try to reboot the game on Xbox, I believe 360. and it was also available on the Wii. Was it not? You could get like the gold Pro controller, but it wasn't the same at all. Like, I don't know why they missed the mark. It's like I had the game and I played through maybe the first couple levels, and then I just was kind of bored with it. I didn't actually sit down and play through it all. I pretty much got the game to get the gold controller, and then I traded the game away before it lost value.
Yeah, I had I got it for Christmas too. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was really disappointing because I remember when Reggie was on stage and he announced the game. Activision owns the rights, by the way. Rare owns the rights to the original GoldenEye game. Nintendo, you have to have Nintendo's permission to do anything with it. And then Activision actually owns like the James Bond series for the game. So there's and Microsoft now owns Rare. So there's like 4 companies in the mix of it all. So
that's caught in legal limbo.
Yeah. Which is such a shame because Nintendo, it's one of the greatest Nintendo games of all time. And really, I would love just an HD remake of it. Which, back to what you were saying, was that was so disappointing about this 007 game because they basically, they knew people wanted this game, the 007 64 game back. And the way they advertised it basically to being like, oh, this is going to be just like the 64 game, because they showed snippets of like the first level and gameplay, and it actually looked very similar to the first level in the game. I'm pretty sure it was the same, but then as you play through the game, it really wasn't like the 64 version. It was the same game. I think it was I don't even remember if it was the same story because the missions were just completely different. They were not the same. It just had some stuff that was similar to the first game, but in general, compared to it, it was far different.
Now, do you think that was because of licensing and ownership and all that, like wrapped up in all of that caused the problem? Because I remember trying to play the multiplayer, and it just seemed like this hollow shell.
Yeah.
And there was nothing there. Like, there was no textures. It was just really, really bland, and it wasn't fun at all.
It had to have been. To get that game now, unfortunately, we're hand-strapped with so many great games from the past that our rights have been separated amongst different companies now. It happens with games like Diddy Kong Racing. Rare owns half of the characters in that game, but it's 100% a Nintendo game, and Nintendo owns the courses. It's Diddy Kong Racing, who is completely owned by Nintendo, so it's the same situation. All this limbo stuff. That's why you haven't seen sequels for it. So, unfortunately, it's stuck in this limbo that I don't know if we'll ever see the light of day. Hopefully, maybe they can all work a deal out. They're like, hey, this is going to come out for all of our systems. But I don't know if Nintendo would want to do that because the thing is, Microsoft already has the Call of Duty games, all those big gun games. Why would they want Microsoft to be able to get their mitts on the one shooter game that was the biggest for Nintendo of all time? So I don't know if we'll ever see the game again, but yeah, for me, man, when I think of winter, this is what I think about is 007 GoldenEye. That's one of the few that when I play the game, I think about winter. I think about Christmas. To me, it just goes to that time. It's a good game to just bundle up in a warm blanket with a warm fireplace on, have a little snack, and shoot up some bad guys. But
don't shoot up drugs. Shoot up bad guys.
Right. Of course. Well, Ryan, there's really no place you can get this game today, but to go buy a 64 and rebuy the old game at some used game store, and I highly recommend it, especially if you've never played it. But if you have, you like this game, just going back to it years later, doesn't age the best, but you know what? If you love the game, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, I don't really care how bad the graphics are or how choppy the frame rate may be. It holds so many memories for me and such good feelings and good times that's why I replay the game still to this day, is for those to just take me back a couple decades and just relive those days again. But, well, Ryan, I think it's about time we wrap this one up. You want to tell everybody where they can find us, do our due diligence for the day?
Yes, sir. You can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. You can look us up, like us on Facebook, follow us, get into the conversation there. Join us on Twitter at Nintendo_NOS. And if you want to shoot us an email about your nostalgic stories that come up as you're listening to our podcast, just shoot an email to nintendonostalgiain@gmail.com. And that about does it.
All right, everybody. Well, we hope you enjoyed the late episode 8. And just be ready, because we're going to have a fun episode next week. Because next week's going to be our episode before Christmas. We're not going to go on any breaks for the holiday season. I know some other shows out there do that. But this is our first time running up through the holidays, and we really want to have the show have continuity, or whatever, however you say it. We want it to continue. We don't want to stop. So we will have a Christmas episode, and we'll have an episode for you between Christmas and New Year's. They may be shorter episodes than normal, but we'll roll with the punches and give you something good to chew on while you're maybe doing some holiday traveling. But all right, everybody, be safe, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Good night, everybody.
Night.